everybody, Brandon Goji here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something regarding the endocrine system. I'm working on a script for pituitary disorders regarding people that have short height or tall height. There's an issue with genetics. People believe genetics is the only reason why we are short or are too tall. And that's not why. It's epigenetics. But I'm not going to talk about that too much here. I'm more so going to talk about this thought that I've been having while writing this script. And it's about how important the endocrine system really is, and more specifically, the HPAT axis, hypothalamus and pituitary, adrenal, thyroid axis. I will try my best to explain it. It's a little bit confusing. I'm trying to simplify it, even though it's kind of complex. I don't like complexity. I believe if you can't describe something simply, then it's not worth describing at all. Okay, the first thing is that we have hyperpituitarism and hypopituitarism. So if you have hyper, you're probably too tall and overgrown, and if you have hypo, you probably have small breasts, are short, weak, high-pitched voice.
The division I see is between the Ricks and Mortys that like the Citadel divided and the rest of us.
That was kind of mean, but it's the truth. It's the best way to describe how it is. What you want to be is at a normalized level, obviously, but with environmental exposure that is very difficult. And the weird thing is that people believe it's okay to be super tall, and it's okay to be super short, or dwarfism and this and that it's only genetics. But I'm telling you guys, that is not the case. I guarantee it. Just like people bashing on me for saying autism is not just genetics or birth defects. And if it is a birth defect, it's from environmental pollutants. And they're like, no way, that is not a possibility. It is just this belief system. It has nothing to do with any other possibilities in the world. There is only one way of everything. That is not true. I'm telling you guys, the one way is actually a million ways. A million different chemicals that are in our environment. I promise you that is what's going on with a lot of these birth defects and tall people and short people. That's what's going on. So we have hyper and hypo. And here's the thing. Hypo is almost always a hyper condition, and vice versa. Hyper is always hypo. So either condition you have is almost always going to be a hypo condition. And that is from observation that I have seen personally, and also my mentors that have been doing it for twice as long as I have been alive. Why is that? Okay, so imagine you work out too much, and you're like, yeah, I feel great, lifting weights all the time, yeah. And then all of a sudden, you get really fatigued and you can't do it anymore. You have that great high for a very, very long time, which is the hyper, and then you become fatigued and get that hypo. And then your body has a last resort mechanism of increasing its adrenals again, so you can keep doing this, keep lifting and working out tons and tons. And then maybe you'll stay up doing that for a very, very long time, as if it's like a mania, right? Mania is a hyperadrenal issue, which is just coincidentally a hypoadrenal issue. The adrenal's last chance at saving itself by over-secreting hormones. It's a form of stress. So anybody that has bipolar disorder, borderline, or just mania in general, it's a hyperadrenal condition. And this just has me thinking about how important the endocrine system really is, and we're not doing anything about it. And people just totally dismiss the endocrine system as if it has no importance. And it's so silly. It's insanity, because the endocrine system is the main component of how our bodies function. Let me say that again. The endocrine system is the main component of how our bodies function. The hypothalamus. The hypothalamus reacts to our environment. These lights are affecting my hypothalamus right now and my pineal gland. It's telling me to wake up and to produce more cortisol. Now if it was dark out, with what I use these blackout curtains at night. That way it's completely dark in my room. So when it's dark, I produce more melatonin, my cortisol levels change, and a whole bunch of things happen. Let's say that I got punched in the face. Ow. That's so stupid. My cortisol levels would go way up, my adrenaline would go way up, my muscles would be activated, and I would be pretty pissed off at whoever did that to me, right? Same with you, I'd assume. And there are instances where you will get overly aggressive and beat the crap out of that person, or there are instances when you will be like, you got a fast heart rate, you're freaking out, you're breathing in more, and you're just observing your environment, and you're like, why did that person do what they did? And then you evaluate the situation. That's the normal response that you usually get. That's what I like to call the Kung Fu response, the Shaolin way of responding to a fight or flight response. All of these external and internal environments change the way our endocrine system responds. I need to pause this camera before it overheats. One last example would be you hit your hand or you broke a bone. Your endocrine system responds by numbing that pain and putting you into a certain state of consciousness to handle that injury. Okay, now that we understand that, I think you can understand how important the endocrine system really is for the body. Actually, let's give you one last example. Let's say you get sick. When I get sick, my adrenals go way up. I get actually hyper, which is actually a hypo response. My body is under so much stress that it has to produce as much hormone as possible in order to handle it, because it's so freaked out it doesn't know what to do. That's usually an autoimmune issue, but an autoimmune issue is a lymph issue. The system is overburdened, so it goes up and down based on the lymph system. That's what an autoimmune condition really is, by the way. It's nothing out of the ordinary like people think. I don't know where people got the idea that autoimmune is some mysterious disease, just like cancer, and cancer is not a mysterious disease. And there's really no such thing as a mysterious disease. MS, that's an adrenal issue, a nervous system issue, which also affects the brain. That's also a lymph issue. If your lymph system is congested, your brain will not function properly. Things like that, that's what happens. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to try and find the right information. Like, there's a lot. This will all be in the video that I'm going to record soon, but I gotta get a haircut. I'm not liking this haircut for my educational videos that will be there forever. But these are like vlogs, basically, and I'm okay with being however I am for these types of videos. For the educational ones, no way. Those are the ones that get me subscribers and tons of views and pay me. You know what I'm saying? So in this script, I talk about how the hypothalamus interacts with the pituitary. So when I say pituitary issue, it is also a hypothalamus issue. It's not just pituitary. But that's what's so great about herbs, adaptogenic herbs, is that they regulate both. The reason why I say pituitary is because the pituitary is kind of like the delivery system, whereas the hypothalamus is the guy that drops off information to the pituitary, and then the pituitary sends it out other places. So there's the anterior lobe of the pituitary, posterior lobe, and intermediate lobe. And these different lobes of the pituitary create different hormones and convert different hormones based on what the hypothalamus sends to it. And here's what I've noticed. I'm talking too fast to catch up with my breath. Okay, so there's different hormones involved with the pituitary and obviously hypothalamus. So such as gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH. Gonadotropin releasing hormone is sent to the anterior pituitary from the hypothalamus. The anterior pituitary then creates follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone, LH. These hormones are sent to the reproductive organs to stimulate them to produce their specific hormones. So this is a very important system to understand. based on what is happening up here will affect what is happening down there. So when you're having an issue with any hormone, whether it be reproductive, thyroid, adrenals, whatever, even insulin issues, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be related to what's going on up here. And obviously the environment around you and inside. That's the whole point of epigenetics. People out there that are having reproductive issues, you need to question, is it your reproductive organ that is having the issue, or is it a hypothalamus pituitary problem? If you check your eyes with iridology and you see lines on the top of your eyes, I guarantee it is actually your hypothalamus and pituitary causing the issues. I'll get into iridology a little bit more later on, but right now is not the best time. Just look it up. Look up iridology chart and look at the brain. It will show hypothalamus, pituitary, reproductive organs, and so forth. And find out, look at the chart and look at your eyes and see which one it is. I guarantee almost always it's going to be up top, which is hypothalamus and pituitary. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about the most in the video, and it will be titled about weight. Growth hormone releasing hormone, GHRH, is sent to the anterior pituitary. The anterior pituitary then creates growth hormone, GH. This hormone is sent to stimulate the growth of the body and maintenance of bone, muscle mass, and fat distribution. I see this all the time.
I see it everywhere I go. I see it in our schools.
And it is so bad, and I feel responsible for not telling people about it. And then there's another issue. I can't just tell people directly about it because it's offensive. GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone, is sent to the anterior pituitary. That's hypothalamus to pituitary. GHRH converts into growth hormone, which is sent throughout the body to manage the growth and development of the body, maintenance of bone, muscle mass, and fat distribution. Here's the issue that I see the most. Fat distribution. I don't want to offend anybody. This is here to help everybody. Growth hormone issues, fat issues, weight issues is related to your hypothalamus and pituitary. So all of these people exercising over and over and over exercising to try and lose weight, and all of a sudden they gain more weight and they don't know why, and then they eat healthy and they still gain weight, and they're like, oh no, there's something completely wrong with my body and the doctors don't know what it is, I don't know what it is, I'm screwed, I just have to live with this. I know a few people that live this way, and can I just go up to them and be like, hey, I know why you're fat, you should listen to me? No, I can't do that. The only thing I can do is make this video and explain it. Do you guys know the answer? Because I'm sure you already know the answer. Fat distribution, growth hormone. People that are having trouble gaining or losing weight, it is a hormone issue, a hypothalamus pituitary issue. And then a lot of people would be like, no, Brandon Goji, you are wrong. It's a thyroid issue. It is just the thyroid that is affecting weight. No. The hypothalamus pituitary sends signals to the thyroid. It's not always a deficiency in iodine or selenium or anything like that. No, it's a little bit more tricky than that. It's the brain, hypothalamus pituitary. So if you are somebody out there that is exercising a lot, stop. Just completely stop doing it. And then go to Tai Chi, Qigong, and yoga. Stop overlifting weights and doing hundreds and hundreds of squats and cycling for 50 miles a day or whatever you're doing. You're going to stress your body out so bad that you will never lose that weight. And if you do lose that weight, it's going to be from extreme stress. That extreme stress is a hyper condition. See where I'm getting with this? It's pretty interesting. I don't know why most people don't make this link. I don't know why doctors don't make this link. It's pretty obvious. So what you want to do is get on a endocrine regulating formula. Wow, that car's loud. I guess I don't have any endocrine herbs right here on my table. Surprised I don't, because this is where like I get up in the morning and I just take a dropper full of whatever is right in front of me. That's the key to health, by the way. It's like taking the doors off your cupboards so you see what you need to take in a day, or just leaving them out. Like, I'm showing you guys these vitamins I did in a previous video, and these vitamins were already up here. It's not like I pull them out of drawers or anything. And if I do, my drawers are already open. Look, I can't even close my drawer because it's not good to have things closed off, because if something is closed off, you will forget about it and eventually never use it again. That's the thing about fitness. If you stop doing it, like 1 or 2 weeks later, you lose all your mass. So the key here is endocrine herbs, adaptogenic herbs. One of the main ones that will be used for this weight issue will be chaste tree berry. Chaste tree berry, also known as Vitex, is a pituitary herb. I'm pretty certain it affects the hypothalamus, but if not, at least it's affecting the pituitary, which sends the hormones throughout the body. That's very, very important. Chaste tree berry, based on the dosages you take, will either increase things or lower things or regulate things. It's a little bit confusing. You have to find the right dose for yourself, but from what I've noticed, a relatively low dose seems to be good for everybody. I would suggest a normal dose for chaste tree berry. Don't try to take tons or try to take just tiny bits. Just take a recommended dose and you'll usually be good. Chaste tree berry on its own is really, really incredible. But the issue is that the debate regarding chaste tree berry being an adaptogen is still up in the air. We're not really sure if it is. I think it might be. It might be. But it's really hard to explain because it can be stimulating. So what we want to do is add in other adaptogenic herbs, such as Hushu Wu or ginsengs. And the ginsengs are an issue because those are very stimulating. Those are the ones that almost shouldn't be considered adaptogens. So you need to just take low-dose formulations of these herbs in order to resolve the endocrine system. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I should mention before ending this video? Oh man, I feel pretty comfortable right now. I don't know if I want to move to finish this video. I'm just kidding. I'll get up. You have to keep getting up in life, guys. Even if things get comfortable. If you're comfortable, that's good, but that's also scary because comfort shows you're not going to keep growing in life, and you need to keep growing. So get up and hustle. Alright, so the last thing I want to mention is just a kind of a recap. The endocrine system is extremely important for the whole body. So important. If your hormones are not straight, nothing will be straight. It doesn't matter what foods you're eating and what exercises you're doing. It won't matter if your hormones are out of whack. And I really, really mean that. It's scary how much hormones can affect the body. Heart issues. People that have heart issues and like, oh God, it's because I ate too many hamburgers and had too much cholesterol. But oh no, now there's studies saying, well, maybe cholesterol isn't actually the reason for heart attacks. We think it's inflammation now, which actually makes sense. Why didn't you guys think of that before? You know, acids cause inflammation in the body, which contracts the body, then all of a sudden things can't function. And if the heart is contracting like that or being stressed out, it's eventually going to die out. The endocrine system is literally going to affect every part of your body. Every single part. Bones, eliminative organs, the structure of your body, everything. So if you have like scoliosis, I guarantee it's an endocrine issue and it's not birth defects or anything like that. And I guarantee you will have lymph backed up in your neck, your thyroid will be sore, you'll have thyroid problems, You'll have nerve rings in your eyes. Those nerve rings are going to be associated with your adrenal glands, and your hypothalamus and pituitary are going to be out of whack. And then all of a sudden, you start treating your HPAT axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, thyroid axis, then all of a sudden, your body straightens out. It starts going straight up. Want to know why? Anti-energy is like this. It goes down. Can't do anything, right? So imagine your body has no energy. Even if it's a subtle energy, a subtle lack, you give your body more energy, more proper hormone regulation, and then all of a sudden, your body starts stiffening itself straight up. You start developing proper posture. That's because hormones regulate the structure of your body. This is interesting and really mind-blowing, honestly. My mentor had a patient that was born without L1 and L2. He put them on a fruit diet, and I think in like 2 or 5 years, somewhere around there, this person grew in L1 and L2. It wasn't there before because they were born without it or whatever. And it grew back. And this happened because they were on a fruit diet and he supported their endocrine system. I'm telling you guys, the endocrine system is the key to the structure of the body and longevity. When you're old, you start aging, your body starts declining. You start getting like this. This is because your adrenals don't have enough energy to hold up your body anymore. Because basically the force of gravity started pushing on your body and your adrenals got burned out from it. That's basically what's going on. And then obviously environmental toxins and the damn disease aging, which stresses out your adrenals. But if you're a healthy aging person, you'll still be sitting up tall. And you'll be looking around like, why is Uncle Ben over there 92 like this and I'm 100 like this still doing kung fu? Is it aging? Am I like aging less or something? Or what? What's going on? It's not that you're aging less. I mean, technically you're aging less, but you've got better adrenals. You've got a better HPAT axis at an old age. That is the key to longevity. The HPAT axis is so important, guys, I'm telling you. And it's so freaky to see how many people have had like MS and all of these other degenerative diseases that get better, that heal themselves and can walk and talk and stuff when they couldn't before, all because the HPAT axis was resolved. So besides your body crumpling up like this and not being able to stand tall because it doesn't have enough energetic potential, older people have a tendency to lose neurological function. What is neurological function? It's obviously the HPAT axis. Hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals, and thyroid. So when your adrenals are down, when you're old, you don't have enough energy to think. So then your brain degrades. And also when your adrenals are down, your kidneys are down, which is associated with lymphatic system filtration. So now your lymph is backed up. And we just discovered recently, like 2 years ago, the lymphatic system, which scrubs the brain of toxins while you're sleeping. So the lymph system in the brain gets congested, and then all of a sudden you start developing neurological disorders like Alzheimer's. Because when you're old, you're not moving around as much and your body's aging, so it can't keep up with all the toxins, and that's one of the main reasons why we die, is because we become a toxin overload because we're so old. And that's it, guys. That's the endocrine system. It's crazy. Like I said, your adrenals are going to affect your kidneys and affect your lymph system. And that's so important to understand. That is the key. And I'm so glad I learned that when I was young, because it's helped me a lot. A lot. Because I've had chronic fatigue all my life. And then you'd catch me sitting like this and stuff, and laying down a lot because it's lack of energetic potential, endocrine energetic potential. And then all of a sudden, I get more energy, my nervous system starts straightening out. I think that's the key right there, is that if the nervous system straightens out, the body starts to straighten out because it's stimulated by the endocrine system. Or better put, regulated. I hate to say stimulated, even though that's oftentimes what you have to do for some people, is give them adrenal glandulars, which is an extract of an animal's glands, and that stimulates the body to go back up into position. But that's not always necessary. I'll say this one more time. The endocrine system is the energetic potential of the body. So if you have fatigue, you're going to be down like this. And then you get that endocrine system back up, then all of a sudden your nervous system straightens out and your hormones regulate. And boom, your body straightens out. That's funny. It's just like frequencies. Everything is a frequency. A low frequency is going to be like this. A big wave, right? And that's the, hunched over body to where you've got a big wave around your body, right? Weird how the universe works like that. But then you have a higher frequency, which is more like this, right? And it ends up as a straight line. That's high energy. That's why we're able to sit tall like this and exercise and things like that. So when your endocrine system is down, you will have a lower vibration and attract poverty and illness and bad relationships. Then you get your endocrine system back up, and all of a sudden you can start focusing and read books and work out, and then you look healthier, then you attract more attractive people and things like that, all based on vibration. It's freaky. I hate to say law of attraction exists, but it does in that sense. You can't just think things into existence, although since the hypothalamus and pituitary are in the brain, in theory, if you are a damn good monk in the mountains, you could meditate yourself healthy. I'm not kidding. That's why we have these mind over matter people telling people, we cured cancer just by thinking it. We were more positive, and then all of a sudden cancer got better. That's because they somehow have the right connection to the hypothalamus and pituitary to regulate the endocrine system, which ultimately regulates the whole body. It's pretty amazing, but the likelihood of that happening for people is very low. I can't do it. I've been doing Kung Fu, Qigong, and meditation since I was like 15. I can't do it. Maybe you'll be able to, but I guarantee you won't. It's very, very difficult unless you're a monk in the mountains practicing for 11 years straight, whatever the number is that they practice. Supposedly, if you meditate for a certain amount of time as a monk, you'll just ascend. You have to have like 11 years of only positive thoughts, and your body turns into a light body of just absolute high energetic potential. It's pretty interesting. That's it, guys. Endocrine formulas, get that endocrine system going. If you have weight issues or structure issues of your body, I'm telling you, it's the endocrine system. And speaking of high energy, hit like on this video like your life depends on it. That's some high energy. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. I upload numerous health videos that you won't want to miss. Join my newsletter for product giveaways and more information occasionally. I don't spam because I don't even have the time to spam. So that's a good thing. If you're in the market for adaptogenic herbs, which I hope you are because it's the best way to get better, be sure to check out sungazerherbs.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. I made an energy tab on the website that has pretty much all of the top adaptogenic herbs that I prefer. Contact me for custom orders with herbs, or maybe there's an herb that's not on there that you want and you want to support me financially, then let me know and I'll get it for you. I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay motivated, you urban survivors. Get that endocrine system fixed. You will be amazed at how much your life changes. It's scary how different your perspective of reality becomes. Like when people are sick, they're low energy and just depressed and negative all the time, right? Bipolar and whatever else. And you get their endocrine system back up, and then all of a sudden they're super positive people and you actually want to be around them. And then their lives change. They get more money and just a lot of cool things happen. So get that endocrine system regulated. See you guys in the next video.